So today we're going to be discussing a panther cap Amanita, which is Amanita in section Amanita and subsection Pantherina. I call these panther caps because the subsection is named Pantherina, and they are an Amanita. So some things we do want to note with this is this pine trees. I have some white pine here. We can notice a lot of pine needles on the grounds. I have this other pine above, so these could be hosting on either one, two different species of pine. But what we will look at is the panther cap we have here. So this is in section Amanita, known to contain isoxazoxyl derivatives, ibotenic acid, muscimol. A lot of people seek these out for their psychoactive attributes. Nothing like psilocybe. When you think of buying magic mushrooms at an Allman Brothers show, it's not that kind of high. More shamanistic, more medicinal perhaps. It's not a pleasant buzz for a lot of people just looking to get messed up on it, but a lot of people swear by the health benefits when taken in moderation and low doses. It can be very beneficial. I'm a big fan myself. So let's discuss these Amanita. This is Amanita subvelatipes, mainly subvelatipes because of its size. It's small versus velatipes, which is a very big meaty mushroom, but characteristics are very similar. So some things to note for this group is the striate margin on the side of the cap. Right here, you can see it going all the way around. There's some remnants of vellum in the center of the cap, and we can see how it's kind of faded white on the edge, and it's brown, straw, yellow in the middle, which is characteristic to many members in this subsection. We can see it does have a skirt on it, and I collected a few over here to talk about the characteristics. But this is a good one to know. Yeah. So, we call this subvelatipes as one of the funnel veil Amanitas. And the reason we call it a funnel veil is because the skirt here, as it covers the gills when it's young, the cap eventually expands out and flattens, and it pulls the skirt up in an upward position, kind of like a funnel. It doesn't flow down like in other Amanitas. Just as a note on that. What makes this a panther is if you look closely at the base, it has what's called a booted base. Let's see if I can zoom in on this one. Maybe if I hold it in my hands. There we go. So it grows out of a vulva, but it doesn't leave a sac. It has kind of a bulb on the bottom, but it leaves this kind of margin on the top. We can see here, it's very flat. We call that a booted base, characteristic of panthers. And we can also see here some of the warts. This one's bleached out quite more, but characteristic, those striations on the side of the cap. Another good characteristic to note on these is look at the short gills. Section Amanita has truncate short gills. They're distributed variously and they come in different lengths. We can see down here, there's one that length, there's a shorter one here, one kind of in the middle, one going closer, and of course we have the gills that go all the way to the stem, free on this one. But if you notice the shape, the short gills kind of get cut off square, very flat. That's called truncate. We see this in Muscaria, we see this in the gematoids, we see this in panther. As a characteristic of section Amanita, this is very good to note the shape of the short gills that are here. We can see on this one as well. Very flat. They're not rounded, they're not toothed, they're truncate is what they call them. So, that's it, some characteristics of panther cap subvelatipes. Very common in New England, and yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed.